everyone, I'm Hima Chitalia. I'm a student of Web Development course from Flatiron School, New York. I'm here to share with you a project that I had to make as a part of my curriculum. I needed to build a Sinatra application which should use MVC model. Also, I had to use the active record. It should have multiple models and also need to work on relationship. Also need to work on user authentication when it comes to login, sign up and log out. So let me show you what my app does first of all, and then I will show you how does it work. To run this application, we need to use shotgun. So shotgun gives us one URL that you can visit to see our application. Okay, so this is my application. As soon as you reach up to that point, what you can do even without signing up or signing in is you can view all the coding tips that you are interested in. Currently, I have coding tips for the four languages: Ruby, HTML, CSS, and PHP. The reason for different colors here, which you can see pink or light blue, is because I have already visited this application in the morning when I was just trying out my app, Ruby and PHP, but I didn't visit this too, so these are still blue. Let us try to visit HTML to see what coding tips it may have. Okay, so it has these two coding tips. As soon as you visit this page, it will give you the list of the coding tips for particular language that you have just clicked on or you may be interested in. It will also let you know the name of the user who created this coding tip for you. You can also click on that. And it will directly take you to the login page because you are not authorized to view the page for the detailed information about that particular coding tips. If you would like to see, either you need to log into to the website if you already have the logins for my website, which is coding tips website. If you don't have, then it will take you to the sign up page. Suppose for example, I just do the fake login now, which is Hima Chitalia, password and login please. As there is no record exists right now with the particular username that I asked it to log in with, it will directly redirect me to the sign up page. Here I can create a login, or if I think that, oh, I know the correct logins now, then I can again go to the sign in page and write down the correct logins. So I'm going to provide the correct logins this time so you can see ahead what we can do with this app. Okay, as soon as you are inside, it gives you one new option, which is Hima's tips, because the username of this account is Hima. So you can see all the tips that Hima has created here. These are all the tips that Hima created. If I would like to see my personal user page, I could go to users, Hima, and it will take me to my page. So here you can see it's kind of like my profile. It shows me my email address and also the tips that I created, language that I created in. I can also go to the new tip if I would like to create the new tip. Here I need to first of all write the tip description. I don't remember any coding tips right now, so this is the website that I opened for us, just so that we can quickly take one of the tip and work on it. This is the JavaScript tip, so we may need to create a new new language for that. Yes, we do need to for sure, because it doesn't give us option for the JavaScript. It doesn't have any JavaScript languages so far into the database. So what we can do is I'm just going to paste a new coding tip, and as we don't have any option here, I'm going to create JavaScript. I think we are good. Let's just check the tip once. I would like to do something like this. Okay, I think we are good so far, and you can click create coding tip. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Here is our tip that we just created. There's the tip number with that, and also language user HEMA because I created. If you want, you can edit this tip. And I don't remember anything else that I need to do with this tip, so I'm just going to cancel edit. And this is where it is. If you like to delete the tip, you can delete the tip, but first of all, before deleting the tip, I will show you this tip already exists everywhere else. If you go to the HEMA's tip, you will be able to see this JavaScript tip. And it's here because we just visited this page. It shows us here. After doing that, what you can do is, suppose if I give you an example, this is the tip that I'm interested in. Okay, even I made this tip too. Let us find the tip that maybe user HEMA didn't make. Oh, for that we will need to go here, or maybe we can directly go to the tips and we'll be able to see all the tips that any user has created. Okay, we are here. Let's check out this tip. Okay, this is created by username Trushal. So what I'm not Trushal, as you can see, I have logged in with the username HEMA. So I'm going to edit this tip now, as I'm interested in editing this tip maybe. And it will give me an error. Only Trushal is authorized to edit the particular coding tip. And if you'd like to see the list of the tips, I could go here. Here we are. Now let's look at the tips that I have created, and I'm interested in maybe deleting one of the tip. I guess I just have one Ruby tip, so let's delete that. I'm not interested anymore in Ruby. If I delete the tip, okay, let's go back to HEMA's tips to verify if that tip doesn't exist anymore. So we are already done with that tip, and we can go back. If you want, you can just sign out, and still, even if you sign out, you will be able to see the list of the tips by just visiting this and clicking on the language that you are interested in. Maybe I'm interested in PHP, so I'm going to PHP. Here we are. So it shows us the tip for the PHP. You can still do it. What you cannot do is you cannot view a particular show page of any tip. Like this will take you to the language show page, but you cannot visit this tip show page. Other thing you cannot do is you cannot visit any user's profile page. You cannot edit any tip. You cannot write down new tips. But yes, for sure, you can see the list of the tips that you may be interested in. Yeah, that's all my website does right now. What I'm going to show you now is what does it take to make this work. So these are different folders that you can see I created to make this application work. It has .git folder, which help us to connect to the Git. Helps me to push all the updates, pull, push, and everything. It has application folder, which has MVC framework, model views and controller, which was one of the requirements of my project. It has configuration, which has my environment file to make this application work. It connects us to database, and it gives us access to the bundler and Regflash. Then my database file, which has all the database. It has database that which has all the migration file that I have created, which is user, tips, and language. I have 3 models, if you can see here: language, tip, and user, though I have 3 migration file for them. Another thing I have in database folder is seed file, schema file, which is auto-generated, development SQLite, which is auto-generated. If you look into my public folder, it has CSS file, images, and JavaScript files, which I have used to give my application a little better look other than just a boring look. Then I have config.ru. It gives me access to all the controllers and also require my environment to make this application work. Then I have gemfile.log, which is auto created because I ran bundler. Then I have rec file. Also I have the speciation.mb file, which is part of the project requirement because I needed to be sure that I'm covering everything which I need to before I submit this project. I have readme, which tells user what they need to do if they are interested in running this application. Now, main part of my project are the controllers, models, and views. So if you can see here, I have 4 controllers: application controller, language controller, and tip controller, and last one, but not the least, is user controller. The main controller is an application controller, which gives us an access to the Sinatra base. Here I have enabled section. I also set the session secret so that no one can edit my sessions. I also set the views to the app views and the public folder to public. And I just did the normal basic controller here, which is dash, which takes you to the languages index. This is the file, if you can see here, coding tips. Yeah, this is that page that gives you an options to visit any of these languages that you are interested in to see the coding tips. And I just created 2 helpers method here, logged in and current user, to use this anytime throughout the session if I would like to see if user has logged in or who is the current user if I would like to access that. After that, I would like to show you my user controller. User controller has couple of controllers to make sure that process works perfectly fine. It has sign up, that if you are not logged in, it takes you to the view, which is sign up view. Otherwise it takes you directly to the tips. If you are logged in, then sign up view, if you look here, it's here, sign up. It is just a small form that requires you to write down username that you would like to use, email, and the password that you would like to use to sign up into my application. Now if you go back to the user controller, after you submit that form, it will verify here that none of these fields are blank. If it is not, if it is blank, then it will redirect you to the sign up again, because that is not allowed. Otherwise, if it will create a user for you, it will make the session user ID equal to user.id, which we just created, and will redirect you to the tips. If you are already a user, if you like to use the login, then again it will check if you are not logged in, and if you are not, then it will take you to the login view. Login view, if you can see here, is just a simple form as the sign up page, but what it just wants you to write is username and password. Doesn't want you to write down the email address. So if both of these are valid and you click on login, then it will take you to the post login, which is here. In post login, it will try to find the user from the database using the params, and if user is valid and also the password is valid, it will assign the session user ID to the user ID and will redirect you to the tips. If not, then it will redirect you to the sign up, because if it cannot find the user, that means user doesn't exit, so it will directly take you to the sign up page. If you'd like to log out, then it will clear the session for you and redirect you to login again if you'd like. Then you can also get the users using Slack. This is one of the things that I showed you. If you are logged in, you can see, you can view the profile of your username, which is users. If I do users-schema and if I'm logged in, and if current user.slug is equal to params.slug, then it will take me to the user show page, which will show my profile with my email, the tips that I have created. Otherwise, it will take you to directly tips. This is all I have for the user controller. Now we'll look at the tip controller. If you look at the tip controller, it also has a couple of other controllers, which is slug-tips. What this method helps you to just look at your tips. That means if you just want to look at your tips, not any other user's tips, maybe to edit it or maybe to see how much you have contributed so far, you can visit hima-tips. What it will do is it will try to find by slug method, and it will check if logged in, and if session user ID is equal to user ID, then take it to this page. If not, then take it to the directly login page, because I don't want anyone else to make any of the edits to this page. It also gives an access to dash tips, which is common redirect page that I assigned to many other methods. This page only shows you the list of the tips, total list of the tips that any user has created. I also have one more method here, which is dash tips dash new, which you can use to create a new tips. What it does is, if you are logged in, it takes you to the new page, as takes you to the login. If you create a new tip, and you submit that form. So after submitting that form, what it does if the content is not nil, then it will create a new tip. It will assign the current user to the user, and it will again check, because if you look into the tips new, if you look here, what I do here, I give you the list of the languages to select. If the language doesn't exist in it, then you can also create a new language. So if you look over here into the tips controller, after anyone submits new tips form, so what this method try to check is if Param's language name is nil or empty, then it will directly go to the set of languages that I provided, and it will try to take the language ID and assign it to the tip. If these are not nil, then it will create a new language and assign the language ID of the tip to the new language to the tip.language.id. Then it will save new tip, assigns user to the tip.user, and redirect you to the show page of the tip, which is tips-tip.id. Otherwise, if any of things fails, it will again assign you to the tips-new. Then you can also see any tip, as I told you. If you are logged in, you can see any tips-id to see details about any particular tips. Only if you are logged in, it will try to find a tip, and if that is not nil, it will take you to the show. If that is nil, then it will take you to the error page, which is basically will say that tip you are trying to show doesn't exist. Are you trying to do anything else or no? If anything of this fails, then it will directly take you to the login page. If you are a user, then you can also edit any tip. As soon as you will try to do it, it will try to find the login tip that you are interested in login. Then it will assign tip.username is equal to current user.username. It will try to verify it. If this condition is true, then it will take you to the edit page. Otherwise, it will take you to the editor page, which is basically saying that you are not authorized to edit this tip. If any of this fails, all of this fails, if this thing also else thing fail, if logged in fails, then it will directly take you to the dash login. And if you can successfully edit the tip, then this is the form for that. It's the same form, almost same form as creating tip, just a little bit different. Here, if you already, because you created tip at that time, whatever is the language ID, it will be already checked here into the list. if we go back to the tips controller and look at the page method that it will use after you edit the tip, it will try to find the tip and it will try to see if params content is not empty, then it will update it. After that, as we just did into the post method for creating new tip, again it will try to see if params language name is nil or empty, then it will just assign tip language ID to the params tip language ID to the tip language ID. Otherwise, it will create a new language which you may be requested as a user, and it will assign that to the language ID. It will assign the user and then it will directly save it. If this is all successfully done, then it will direct you to the tips show page. Otherwise, it will take you back to the edit page. You can also delete any tip. As you can see here, it's very simple. It just destroy any particular tip. But before that, it will verify that you are logged in. After that, it will verify the current user is equal to tip.user, because I don't want the user may not have created that particular tip. I don't want them to delete that tip too. So whoever has created, they only can delete that tip. So it will also try to see that. After that, it will destroy the tip and will redirect you to the tips. Else, if this fails, and then it will take you to the delete error page, which basically says you are not authorized to delete this tip. If logged in fails, then it will directly take you to the login page. I also have one simple method which is cancel, tip ID cancel. This method works into the edit page, because if you think that you would like to edit the page, and when you go to the edit page, you think that no tip looks good, I don't want to edit it, then you can directly click the cancel, and it will redirect you to the show page of the tips. Now my last controller, which is very simple controller, language controller. It just has one method, which is tips language name and dash language. If you have seen here, this method works if you are logged in or not, doesn't make any difference. If you go into this particular HTML, as you can see, I'm not logged in right now. This method shows you the list of the tips for the HTML language. If you look here behind the scene, it is giving instant variable language to the params name, because I'm going to use this into the show page. Then I'm creating an empty array tips, and assign the empty array to tips.all.findAll, because I want it to find all the tip where language name is equal to language, which is here, language.downCase. After I get this array, I would like to see if it is not empty. If it's not empty, then take to the language show page. If it is empty by any chance, because if I have a language but there is no tip exist for that particular language, then it will directly take it to the error page, which basically will say that there are no tips currently exist for this language. Would you like to create one? Yeah, this is all I have right now. There are many other things, detailed things, but I would not prefer to go up to that in this section. Maybe I will try to collect it into other section, which are the views. But yeah, this is all I would like to say for this project. If you have any comments, please feel free to write down. Thank you so much.